language so you feel comfortable talking to people wherever you are about this issue, because that's how it's going to happen. You can write, you know, articles in the New York Times all you want, but as most of you know in this room, it happens person to person. And the thing that we've got more of than anything else is people. So we need to be able to be authentic, to talk to people in our own words with our own concerns, and engage people and bring people along. You know, it's one of the reasons we're asking people to commit to running common sense economics trainings, because we can't just do one and leave. We've got to do them over and over and over again. But we're going to train people on how you do this, because we all have power. We just need to start using it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for running. So the next thing we're going to do, we mentioned at the beginning that part of this Common Sense Economics training and part of every Common Sense Economics training is to bring, to talk about a local campaign or an issue. And I'm very pleased now that we have the opportunity to turn it over to our host, Dan Duncan, and President Krause Mays from the Virginia AFL-CIO.
Well, anyways, as everybody in this room knows, Virginia is one of those wonderfully unique states where every year, it almost seems like every month, but every year we have an election. So we get plenty of practice in this state, and those of you who are part of the labor movement, God bless you, because you're here on Saturdays for us as well as during the week making phone calls. But what we need to do is not just the campaigns, as the traditional campaign part of this, but we got several things that we need to take out of here today from each individual group. And that includes voter registration. Let's make sure people are registered to vote. Doris, correct me if I'm wrong, but among the unions that are part of the Virginia AFL-CIO, we're at 78 to 80%? 83% now of our membership is already registered to vote.
That's great.
So you wonder why we have a dedicated Get Out the Vote campaign. We know our members, we know what's the issues to affect, and we talk with them. But we also need all of us, whether you're labor or not, to agree to go out and take this little bit of training that you got today, and we'll help you with more, and take it to your communities. Because it doesn't, as Roberta said, it doesn't do a lick of good if we keep it in this room. It's got to go out. That's why when we were asked to put this together, we weren't asked to make it just labor. We were asked to make it among the community. And we've got a lot of community in here. We'll be willing to work with you to get, you'll be getting materials afterwards. That's why you all have the bags in your chairs. It wasn't to advertise over labor. We're going to make sure you're able to carry it out of here instead of leaving it on the table. So, but we need you to go out in your churches, in your clubs, in your organizations, in your unions, in your locals, to devote some time to do this, to make sure that people understand that it's not just what the Washington Post says. It's not just what, we can't say it in this room, Fox News says. It is what, we all sitting in here saying, is this really happening? I mean, is it just me thinking this? No. Look at this room. I mean, all of us are sitting here going, yeah, that's me, or that's somebody down the street, or that's somebody. But we're all told to stay quiet, to keep it hushed, keep it under, so that Mr. Moneybags, which was fun to portray, but nowhere close to what I can do, can keep all this money going and just don't talk among yourselves. We need to participate in campaigns. Kelly, you know what that means. I mean, she's running for, you're running for office this year as well, right?
Next year.
Next year, okay. But she's been a good friend of ours out in Leesburg, where we're trying to change things out there. Patrick, you got a good group in Alexandria right now, but there are certain people that don't understand what we're talking about here, and they want to make sure it stays that way.
And Willie Bailey is running for city council.
We've got union members. For 20 years, we've had this labor council has existed since 1994, and one of the things we have wanted to do is have our own members run for office. Well, as Russ just said, out in Alexandria, we have a firefighter who's running for city council. A young man that was supposed to be here today, but he probably was stuck in the infrastructure with a lot of other people. We understand there was a few problems on the highways today. Justin Wilk is running for school board. He's a teacher. He said, you know, it's time for somebody who understands what the schoolroom's all about. And we're hearing rumors about a couple others. We're finally getting to the point where we can have our own run and run successful campaigns. We need more of this. We need more from the individual groups. We need more cooperation. Ralph was here a couple years ago when we brought the Democratic parties together to say we've got to stop the infighting and all work together. And we brought the leadership from 5 surrounding counties. It's not a union thing, it's a matter of all of us working together. So we need to participate in campaigns, but the most important thing, no matter what they're doing to us, get out and vote. Make sure that our members know what needs to be done, make sure our friends know what needs to be done. We used to have something called Take 5 in this state, which meant take yourself and 4 other people to get out to vote. And that was a very successful way of getting people out to vote. If you had 5 members of your family, that counted. If you have, friends and neighbors, that counts. But do something. Make sure people get out and vote. Doris?
So, I just want to add 2 components to all of this. First of all is a sense of urgency to this. As Dan said, we do have an election in Virginia every year. So, which is really tiring. But I think everyone needs to understand just what stage and how pivotal Virginia is for the 2015 election and going into 2016. So I don't think it was really a coincidence that Ted Cruz was in Virginia today at Liberty University. Okay? That lets us know that Virginia is going to be really key in 2016. But we have 2015 now. And our Senate here in Virginia is 2119 out of 40 seats. 21 Republicans.
Yes.
And we've tried to do things for minimum wage and others issues, and we can't get anywhere, okay? And we know that it's not, everybody knows that Virginia is a right-to-work state, but they just passed this session that right-to-work needs to be in our Constitution. So in Virginia, it has to pass 2 years. It had passed in 2015. It has to pass again in 2000, is this 14 or 15? Yes.
16.
Okay, so 2015 it passed. If it passes again in January of 2016, it will be on the ballot in November of 2016. Now, all of this stuff is by design. So there is an urgency here. We already have the photo ID. They even tried photo ID if you vote absentee. Okay? So the urgency is we have got to find a way to get it down to our rank and file and our other members even within our organization. The leadership, we get it. The stewards and our e-boards, we get it. But we have got to start talking to our members about this and educating them. So it's finding the way to talk to our members, no matter what our organization is, realizing the urgency, because I think the scenario at first with the visual was great in the sense that there's 7 chairs, right? And we were all fighting over the 3 chairs that were left. There's going to be 1 or 2 before long if it continues. And we're going to be fighting even more. So instead of all of us fighting among each other for what's left of those 3 chairs, we need to start and fight to get the other 7 chairs back to us. That's where we need to be fighting. Not each other, but putting the chairs back where they belong. And we can do that with all of us working together and carrying this on, because we're at that pivotal stage and we are going to turn things around when we're all together. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Here, I'll do that and you do that.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yes,
on the
brother.
Program. I think you need, and Doris and Dan, you helped, we got a resolution adopted by the Democratic Party of Virginia that we should set a national goal to balance our trade. Because if you have to balance your trade, they can't outsource the production and bring the goods back in. They have to be produced here or we gotta export a hell of a lot more, which means that Americans are making more goods. But if you set that goal, and I think it's very important to talk about it, because it's a big part of what we've had $10 trillion worth of trade deficit in the last 20 years. No wonder our children have no jobs. 60,000 factories have moved out of the country.
Do you have a card?
I think we gotta incorporate trade message in this common sense economics.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, look, you mentioned one point right now. 60,000 factories have left the
Gone.
United States since 2000. 3.2 million manufacturing jobs have
Gone.
left. They're gone, right? We need, absolutely, we need to talk about this. And it's
One more thing I want you people to know. Last year, the United States had a $700 million trade deficit in manufactured goods. 340 of that was with China alone. Now, what are we doing? We're shipping all this stuff out, it's being made there, and we have to import it. We send these dollars out to China, China's now got $4 trillion to come back and buy things in this country. I mean, it's just crazy.
Absolutely. Well, run fast thing really quick. You know, one of the things he was talking about, the brother in the front, those were policies. And just like we said at the beginning of this training and the thing we've said throughout, the economic state we find right now in our country did not happen by accident. It is not like the weather. It doesn't just happen. And just like there were policies put in place to make these a reality, there can be policies and things done to reverse those policies.
And they got two more issues that they're throwing at you right now, and Rich Trump just spoke about them the other day at the Peterson Institute. They've got so-called Trade Promotion Authority, you call it fast track, meaning they go out and negotiate an agreement, and they bring it back, and the Congress has to vote it up or down without